Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Solar Factory for the R&B Talk Show. Coming up, say got a brand new guest on the R&B Talk Show. Well, he's not a brand new guest. He was on the R&B Talk Show where I used to do my interviews on Instagram. I'm talking about singer, songwriter Roger Hill music. Will be on here in a second. And man, just want to say that for those trying to be like, man, like why is the background black and stuff like that? I'm working off some stuff, you know. Matter of fact, it's like the weather was so bad it knocked off my background. So thank God, man, I'm able to, see my face over here, you guys, seeing me and stuff. And make a long story short, man, because I was like, man, hope my background dropped be straight. And then like it just took it off. So when I got on here just like a couple hours ago, I was like, damn man, it won't let me upload my background drop. So it's like strictly all black. It's crazy. I hate it when it happens. I love R&B. How you doing? How you doing, Queen? So I appreciate you. Yeah, because usually people see the R&B talk show video background first was drop in the background, but man, this weather been so crazy. I hate, when it's like around springtime, it throws everything off. I'm glad the Wi-Fi is working. It's just that, man, I just hated that, it wouldn't let me upload my background drop. But it's all good, you know what I'm saying? Because we are going to have a good time, you know what I'm saying? And going to wait on Roger Hill music. He supposed to be popping up here in a second and stuff, But other than that, what I'm saying, just want to say thank you all for, rocking with the R&B Talk Show. I appreciate you guys. I'm on the road of 500 interviews. Tonight we'll make 491 interviews and stuff. And for me, I done interview legendary artists, independent artists, you know, uh, seasoned artists, as far as like who has some backgrounds from famous people or wasn't replacing R&B legend, you name it and stuff. So for 2019 up to now, I done man, interviewed everybody that Marvel, you can say. But I ain't gonna lie to you, though, there's some interviews I've done in the past, like half of them I done forgot, and stuff. And yeah. Oh, they just here right here. Hey, let me see Roger Hill. Let me see if I could get him in. For some reason, not let me add him in here for some reason. Hey, my brother, I don't know if you can hear me or not. You probably need to yeah, just open up your camera and then try to hop in to hop out. Is he on? I'm trying to get him on though, V, and for some reason his camera's not on. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now we're good to go. Now we're good to go.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was having problems. I was trying to get through on my desktop, but it wasn't allowing me. So I had to try to jump in through my phone real quick. But I don't have a link. But I'm here now. So
that's all good, man. Before I introduce you and stuff to the fans, you wonder why is there a black drop? The weather was so bad that I can't even upload the RB Talk Show video virtual drop I normally have in the background. So if you don't see the RB Talk Show spinning,
hey, don't worry about it. We are listen. All jokes aside, you wouldn't believe, man, my internet been out since last week, and it just came back on at 7:00. So I mean, I'm like. It was very crazy.
Wow. Yeah, because March, man, between March and April, and I do want to throw in May, it's the scariest time to try to go live on any platform. Because if you see that red line, man, go across your internet box, something is up.
Hey man, I thought Irene, because I was reading the thing, man. Irene said, "Listen, I'm gonna go and cut the internet lines underneath the sea," So I said, "Damn, they didn't hit us already, man."
Yeah, oh man, it's crazy, man. Last time I had you on here, man, I think it was like, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or something like that?
Yeah, it's been a little while, yeah.
It's been a while, yeah. And that's when I had the show on Instagram at that time. And I think after you and a handful of people, I told big shouts to V's Ventures. She's a publicist, she's a PR, based out of Virginia Beach. And I was telling her I wanted to move to YouTube because I figured that So that way artists could they could share their interviews. They had to go dig all the way down to Instagram
Uh-huh.
and show their peoples and stuff like that. So yeah, man. So this is where it's at. Man, let's get right to it. Last time I had you on here, back then, you played your music and stuff, man. Man, it was a blast. And I'm gonna tell you, man, it's crazy, man, because I think last time I talked to you, and I don't know if I said it, I said, even though you were just creating music, if your presence feel like you done this like 30 years ago. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, it's crazy, man. Like, even though your music feel like, man, this one came out of the 90s, how that would have looked like, you know what I'm saying? You know.
Yeah. A lot
Yeah.
of people tell me that my music seemed like I've been out here for years, and I was like, wow, I've only been doing this for 4 years, you
Yeah.
know, and I'm steady, steady grinding out here, and got a lot of new music. Just haven't released anything right now because I'm steady pushing the CD that I have. But have some plans on some different things that I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah. I'm glad you said about CDs because I told a buddy of mine that okay, like the Michael Jackson biopic that's coming up, that CDs are back in.
Uh-huh.
And I pray that we had these stores like Best Buy and other places. I can't mention Target because I know that's boycotted, but we're bringing back the CDs back in, and it's more than got the streams, but I feel like the CDs are better, you know what I'm saying, for artists like yourself to really make a profit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so back when I first released this CD, it was through CD. Um,
Mhm.
and a lot of people was like, "Oh no, man, they ain't got no CDs." But fast forward 2 years later, 3 years later, um, a lot of artists are putting CDs out, and not only that, if you go to Walmart, Walmart is actually selling boom boxes with CD players in them now. And then like you can go on Amazon, they're selling CD players. So it's a way that the artists are able to sell their music and make money versus streams because you're not making anything streams at all. And
Yeah,
it's like to me, it's like a waste.
it really is, because it's like you have to make like, oh man, okay, if you get like 30 million streams, I think you bring home maybe like $20,000 or something like that, and it's like that's only enough to like, pay your whole car note, for a year, depending what type of vehicle you got. And then you take care of your house. And after that, man, you gotta keep hustling up, man, and especially you got so much going on, all at
Yeah,
once.
the amount of money that you spend, in the music and stuff, it doesn't add up, So I basically, have been building up my catalog for the last 2 3 years,
Mhm.
and actually getting ready to go back into the studio within the next couple of weeks. I work with Stephen Russell Hart, and
Okay.
so we got some more stuff that we're getting ready to do, and like I said, I got new music that's just not out yet, but I'm steady pushing what I have because the thing about it is this, I hear people say, oh, you need to release songs every month or whatever. But here's the thing: when you're really, working with the top dogs, producers and stuff, and you spending mad money, on quality music, you can't put music out every month.
Yeah.
You have to focus on pushing one song to blow that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What it shows, like, I'm probably like on my 20th song. I got a CD out right now, got 6 songs on there. Okay. And the song that I'm pushing right now on that CD is Nobody Knows. A very good song. Very good song. It's been picked up on some radio stations and stuff, now. Um, so you have to have one song blow up, get out there.
Yeah.
Now, I have stuff that I could come back with that will keep me consistent. You have to stay consistent of having or making good music. So, and then right now, the way the time that we live in now, we don't live in a CD world no more. I mean, if I'd have known that about 3 years ago, I wouldn't have put the CD out. I would have just pushed that one song, but it's out there now. We live in a single world. There's no such thing as an album anymore, or CD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The world has changed. So that is my reason why I'm just gonna push that one song right now on that CD, which it'll drive people there until I get to a certain point, and then I'll be able to, to drop. But I have some good stuff that I know once whatever I drop, I can pick and choose whichever one is still gonna be good.
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, because one thing about music, it's like you can't rush it, saying, everything, is like timing, what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because trying to put something out there is like, fans could, just now got onto this song, and you want to hit it with another one. Like, I
Yeah,
know a guy that's in Florida, I'm no longer in contact with, and this brother will put out CDs each month. I'm like, but dude, you can't do that, man. Like, people can't grow with you, like, people have to evolve with you as an artist. You can't just try to force, try to throw it in their face like that. It doesn't work like that.
yeah. I mean, it's like they start listening to this, and it's like because even though I dropped that CD, what 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there's still people who have not heard that whole CD. And when they hear Nobody Knows, they love it. So it's new to a person who ain't never heard it.
Yeah.
So it's all about me continuing to push, 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 push. And that's what I'm doing, But I
Yeah.
do have the music to back up whatever I may want to come with. But right now, I'm not putting out all that like everybody's just dropping out these different songs and stuff.
Yeah, I remember, and that's the thing about being an artist. It's all about, going involved, like let your music grow, let it come to life. What I'm saying, you forcing everything out there, like there's no growth. There's like you got some song, some artists, you know how you hear on the internet, maybe like 2 or 3 songs got so much energy, and then the
Mhm,
rest of the song be flat. Be like, hey, bro, like what happened? It's a mental thing, what I'm saying.
mhm.
They don't know how to, do that. This it's crazy how that goes and stuff. I know last time I had you on here, we were talking about your journey and stuff. So I want to start from like as a child, what was Roger Hill, inspired to do when you was a kid?
Well, when I was actually a kid, my sister and I we were singing in different churches in Rochester, New York, and Tweet is like
Yeah.
we're like in the family, we all uh, parents knew each other, and we sung in different churches, same churches, and all of that. And but the thing about it, I never wanted to sing. I
Wow.
never wanted to sing. My sister, her voice, she was always compared to Diana Ross back then. I never wanted to sing, and
Wow.
it's funny how this even came about. You know,
Wow.
I
No
was
matter
doing,
how go
I
ahead.
was doing I was doing all kind of different things. I mean, I was playing football. I owned nightclubs. I promoted shows. I was doing all kind of things, man. I was in the construction. Um, but I never wanted to sing.
Wow.
So when people listen to my music, they be shocked. They be surprised. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that came about, and fast forward, it's like now I'm doing things with Howard Hewitt, I'm doing tour dates with him, we doing some different things. We done shows together.
Yeah.
Even when Howard first heard me sing, he was just blown away. He was like, dude, he was kind of shocked. You know,
Yeah.
Steven Russell, we've done some shows together, and he was like, wow. Because there's one thing being in the studio, there's another thing being on the stage, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they actually had the opportunity to hear me in person, and they were really, really blown away. I have a really strong falsetto, and when people hear me in person, they they they're really shocked because my falsetto was so strong, you
Wow.
know. And you don't really have too many people out there that has that strong falsetto. I mean, we're talking about even the legends too. You know what I mean? The
Yeah, that's
people,
saying right. That's saying stuff right there.
you know, I mean, it's only a few people out there in that falsetto game. You know, Ron Isley, Howard Hewitt, uh, Philip Bailey, um, Barge. It's a few, you know, but you know, those guys have been out here a long time, and of course, you know, as you know, you get older and stuff, you know, things change. But
Yeah.
you know, like Gerald McBride will say, he was like, you know, he said you're the new crooner of R&B, you know, with a fresh voice. That's how he said it. The new crooner of R&B, you know, and it was like that's what people are looking for, that fresh sound, that fresh voice, you know. I hear people say all kind of things, you know, who I may sound like when I sing, you know. Um, but I try to have my own style and my own sound, but I can't help how sometimes, you know, I might hit a note and, you know, I have people come up to me like, oh man, you sound like Ron Isley, you know, stuff like that, you know. You know, you can't help it, you know, it is what it is, you know. But I just keep it moving, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's one thing about being an artist. You know, it's about having a formula, create your own style. You know, and see what direction you go at. You know, and you got some people. You know, I noticed that some artists like I remember I mentioned this people who are like tone deaf by vision,
Mhm.
but they can be on point by hearing. You got some that's like tone deaf by ear, so you can blind by sight. You have to guide them, and just looking at you who only sung for like 4 years, professionally. I'm like that's saying something. You know, somebody that I already know what exactly what they need to do. Is tell somebody just like been singing, still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and I don't know where. I mean, it seemed like I just stepped right in, and you know, I've had people that told me, you know, the only difference between me, Ron, and Charlie Wilson is, you know, is that people don't know who I am yet, and once they hear and find out who I am, then you know, the rest is be history. And then these are people in the industry that basically have actually heard me, heard my music, and they just like most people are just shocked. You know, when I go through shows and stuff, you know, I'm constantly getting new fans because, to be honest with you, you very seldom find an artist that sound like their record, and that's me. I sound like the record. So when they hear the record and they hear me in person, they be like, "Gosh," you know. So it's a true blessing. It's a true talent, you know, that God gifted me with, and I'm just steady pushing it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely and stuff. I like that promo video you posted on Instagram. Saying, and I was like, dang, I forgot because I remember you posted that, 3 years ago. Saying, and I was like, man, I like the video visual.
Mhm.
Saying that you put together. Like, was it a collective team idea, or that's what you saw? Like right ahead as like the idea start to evolve.
Like when I write songs.
Not right song, but like the little video visual. I think it was a video visual you posted on Instagram or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I said, man, I like the video visual. You put
Yeah.
together. I mean, yeah, as far as like all the song, when it comes to that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do different visuals for the songs and stuff like that. Um, I'm so put it like this, because we are in a new world when it comes to music. You have to be very creative and think about how you're going to get your message, your song, your music out to people. Because, you know, even though people always say that radio is still it, but there's still a lot of people who don't listen to radio. Your radio is actually your phone. Your TV
Yeah.
is actually your phone. You know, so you have to be able to get your sound, your music, your brand out to those individuals through social media first. You know, um, radio is still here, but um, from what I'm seeing, there's still people who really don't listen to radio. They listen to Sirius XM, but it's a
Yeah.
different ball game. So you have to be very creative on how you get um, your branding and your music out to people now. You know, I give
Absolutely.
sometimes I give CDs away, sometimes I sell them. You know, and then the other thing too is I'm actually doing a promotional where I'm finding um, different locations around the country to do little shows and stuff, and um, getting people to hear my sound and my music. And I throw one of the things that I actually do because my music is that real R&B, and a lot of people may not know who I am right now, but once they actually hear me sing, they can cancel Christmas because I get them. Uh, but it's like
Oh man.
I do a variety, like I do a show. You know, one of the things that I always do when I do a show, I always sing one or two Isleys, do a uh, little clip of, some Isley stuff, between the sheets, footsteps in the dark.
Yeah.
I might even do find myself doing lately George Duke, Rhyme or Reason.
Oh wow, man. That's
And
awesome.
I will do a little stylistics, hurry up this way again. So I try to do some stuff that people are familiar with, but then I mix my music up in there also because they may not be familiar with my stuff right
Yeah.
now. But it shows like because the ones that I actually just named, those are some very good songs. And again, those songs, are all falsetto type of songs also. So that's my comfort zone,
Yeah.
singing falsetto. Um, so it gives a person an opportunity to hear me and let them know, hey, this brother here can sing, you know? And then I go off into doing my stuff. And once they hear my stuff, oh man, I like it.
Yeah.
So you have to find a way to get to these people.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You definitely right about that. That's the only way, you can really attract the crowd, what I'm saying, is, do a cover too, to hit it with your original music, what I'm saying? And people like, what, I'm gonna have to support this cat, what I'm saying? This brother here, he's definitely, bringing some heat and stuff like that, and yeah, because it's one, you can only go so far with your original music too. Everybody start catching on, you be like, okay, I don't have to do that no more. Now I could just steamroll straight through and stuff like that and
Hmm.
everything. Because man, as you was talking, I said, man, I can see him doing like some Phil Perry music, man, and I had certain brothers in my mind, see what that would sound like. I said, man, I know that'd be far like at an R&B jazz event
Yeah,
somewhere, man.
yeah. It's funny you said Phil Perry because there's a song that Phil Perry sings that I wanted to learn. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but so like with me, I'm not one of those singers who I'm not a Charlie Wilson type of hard singer or what I mean. I'm a smooth singer. I have a smooth sound. And when a person actually hear me in person, um, obviously it's different when you sing with a band versus track.
Yeah,
And with a band, it's like you can really hear the true effects and feel it with me. Like right now, I'm my music director now also is Anita Baker's music director. We do a little
wow.
something. We actually done a couple songs together. You know,
Oh
so
wow.
yeah. So it's like again, like I said, I got some great music. Out there between Steve and um, I did some stuff with Damian Thomas. Um, with the Underdogs. So I mean, again, like I said, I'm just basically trying to push what I have right now and stay visual. Doing different interviews and stuff like that where people can see me, um, and then just keep it pushing, keep it pushing, keep it pushing. it can be frustrating sometimes. Don't get me wrong, but when you so far in it and so deep in it, you can't stop.
Yeah, you can't, man. You definitely can't stop, And we're gonna break down some of these songs right here, what I'm saying? You tell me the inspiration behind the song titles.
Hmm.
Okay, the very first one is All the Love That I Need. I mean All the Love I Need.
So it's funny. So all the love I need was originally done with me and Sherelle. So
Wow.
we was on a show together, and so Sherelle was listening to my music, and she started calling me Roger Isaac, and she was like, "You got some good music." So I was like, "Yo, we need to do something together." So I wind up. She said, "Well, you write it." So I wrote her verse, and I wrote the whole song. We recorded it, but things didn't go the way it's planned. So I wind up just you know redoing it, and I did my vocals, and it's a good song. It's a really good song.
Man, that would have been a great look, man, and stuff, besides yourself and for her, what I'm saying? Wow, that would have been something, man. Like a
Yeah,
man, done a duet in the book.
yeah. So other for that, that was that's how I really came up with that song there. She kind of like pushed me, I just wrote it, and
Yeah.
I wrote her verse first, and the rest was history.
Wow.
But me and Sherelle, we cool. We talk. Me and Sherelle talk about sometimes 2, 3 times a day. It's funny as hell.
Oh man, yeah, big shout out to the R&B queen. I don't think she gets the proper flowers that she deserves. What I'm
Mhm.
saying? For her to man perform for like close to 50 years, man. What I'm
Yeah.
saying? She
Mhm.
definitely deserves that. What I'm saying? And Black music artists, man, if you guys watch it, please, what I'm saying, give that some flowers, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Song number two, I will love you.
That song there, I really don't know how I came up with that song.
Oh
I
wow.
just, I just so when I was working in one of the houses because I build houses here in Atlanta, and
Okay.
so most of all those songs was wrote in houses I either was building or was doing some work, and I was just listening to the track, and stuff just started coming to me, and that's just how that song came about. Just "I Will Love You." Um, that particular song, it just came to me like that.
Yeah. All right.
So it wasn't about anyone. It just started flowing.
Oh, man, it's crazy. You could be out somewhere at the grocery store or you at work or whatever's going on. That sound just come out of nowhere. Say just like man, what they say like when the stars align, then what's supposed to happen it's meant to be, for that moment and everything.
Mhm. Yep,
Uh
you're right.
track number three, Come Back to Me.
So "Come Back to Me" was actually my very first song that I wrote. Um, it's not really about anyone, though some people seem to think or may think that what it was because I put someone's name or nickname in there, but it really
Yeah.
wasn't about them. It's just that when I was writing it and the way the song was flowing, the way the verse was flowing, me really being creative. When I said it's a cool breeze of love that's gone, so her name is Cool Breeze,
Yeah.
and I threw that up in there because it just kind of like sound good. It made sense. There's a cool breeze of love that's gone. So a cool breeze, love that's gone,
Mhm.
and so it really made sense. So some people be like, "Oh, you wrote that song about?" I'm like, nah, not really. It's just how I wrote it. You know what I'm saying? And I just named it "Come Back to Me." But that song is not really. Again, it's not any about anyone. It's just, and let me let you understand this. Whenever I write a song, before I write any song, I always pray. And I always ask God to give me the knowledge, the wisdom, the ability, the strength to write that song. And once I do that, that's it. And I just it just stuff just start coming after that. It
Wow.
might be that day, but it start coming. But I always pray. At all the songs I've done, I always pray first. And then that's how you hear.
Wow. Amen.
You know?
Track number 4, Nobody Knows.
So nobody knows about what's this? Probably about 4 years ago. Let me see. About 3 years. Yeah, about 3.5 years ago. I had stopped over to my ex, and we had broke up, and it was kind of late that night. And so I went to rung the door or whatever, doorbell. And so she opened the door, and when she opened the door, she was like, "Oh, I thought you'd have been came back." So I had been, we broke up for like 6, 7 months. I hadn't seen her,
Yeah.
so I just so happened to stop over there, and I had a couple of drinks too. So, and when she said it, I was like, "Yeah, right." So I goes up in there, right? And I goes in there, and I sit down on the couch, and we was talking real quick. So I noticed all these tissue boxes all over the house because we were together for almost 5 years, and you old person like that, you just the setup and everything. So I'm seeing tissue boxes over here, tissue boxes over there. So I was like, what are all these tissue boxes around? What you been crying around here? I was like, you need to go and lay on somebody's couch. So she was like, nah, you need to lay on somebody's couch. And I started shaking my head. I was like, man, nobody knows. And when I said that, it hit me. So it just stayed on me. So what happened? She had kicked me out. She's like, you gotta go.
Damn.
So I winds up going to my truck, and I was carrying a pad and a piece of paper. I mean, a notepad and a pen. And I wrote it down. Nobody knows. I wrote it down. And then I took off. So the next day, I just started developing the song.
Wow.
And that's how I came up with that. It's not about her, but that concept of, I shook my head when she said that, and I was like, man, nobody knows. Nobody knows, And that's how Nobody Knows came
Wow.
about.
It's crazy, man, where it's like it's meant for you to be there, but it's also meant for you to kind of like far as like like a song popped up, you know what I'm saying? It was not about her, but it was like it's weird how that happens like that. It's like it's like you at the right place but the wrong time of a situation, but something good came out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, and it's a really good song too, man. I mean, Steve was like, man, that was a good song. It's just the way we put it together and did it. It was on point.
Oh man. Track number 5, Do What You Want to Do.
Now, Do What You Want to Do was actually about my ex that I was talking about.
Oh,
So, so what happened? We had broke up. I'll never forget that. I was in Papados. She had made me so mad one day. I was like, man, later for this. And I was just so mad. And I went to Papados. And when I sat down at the bar, I just started writing. It just started. I mean, it was just like, it was flowing so well. Like, Dear Abby, you know what I'm saying? It was just flowing. And it was basically about her, just like, I was so mad. I wrote in there, you got to take baby steps if you want to keep my love in check. And then next thing on, I was like, you got to take baby steps to keep my love in check. Do what you want to do. This love is for real. Let your mind be with me. That's what came
Yeah,
up with that song. And I wrote it through. I was just mad. It's like, ah. And then it was crazy because it was one verse in there, right? I don't know if I can say it, but I said, you know, you say, I said, this selfish mother, you know what I mean? And then I was like, nah, I can't put that in there because you know I don't want to have no curse words in the song. So I was like, you selfish mother love affair. Just only think about yourself. That's how I wrote it. And I put it in the song, you know. So when you hear the song, you know, it just flows, you know. And then I've had people that told me the song has some people be like, it sounds like a Isley, then it sounds like a Curtis Mayfield, you know. I've heard all kind of stuff with that, you know, but that song was written out of anger.
Hey man, sometimes you gotta vent, you know what I'm saying? Let it all out.
Oh man, that was funny though. But it's a good song too. It's a good up tempo song. It really is.
Oh man. Okay, the next one is Your Heart, My Heart.
So when I wrote that song, um, trying to see, that was so I think COVID had just come past, and you know, COVID had people. It really brought out the worst in a lot of people because you had people that actually had to be all tied up in the house together with each other,
Yeah.
and you know, you had people, they were fighting and all kind of stuff. You know, people were divorcing and whatever. And there were people who were out that was really looking for love, but could not find love, you know? And one thing about a lot of my songs, I don't want to write songs that are, you know, heartbreaking or sad songs and stuff like that. So when I wrote this song here, it was basically about two individuals down with each other. I got your back, you got my back. Your heart is my heart is your heart. I'll be there for you. You never worry. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing, you know? And I never forget that the one verse that said, I'll be there, have your back, never worry, pray for you, you for me, show you love like Missouri. There'll be times you be down and I'll pick you up, you know? And that's the type of thing that a lot of people or a lot of women, they want to hear that, you know, where that man has their back. That you're going to be there for them. There'll be times when you'll be down, but I'll pick you up and massage
Mhm.
your love, you know? So that's how I came about that. I just wanted something that was positive, just, you know, two individuals, you know, just loving each other, you know, we down with each other.
Mhm.
And that's how that song really came about, you know?
Wow. Yeah. Well, what I like about your music, it's whether you got the recorded versions and stuff. I like the acapella ones and also the instrumental. You know what I'm saying? And like it pretty much, you bring it that old school sound where like you listen to cassette tape or CD. There's a whole album play. So you get a house in the car and it sounds like a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like starts off with the intro, leads
Mhm.
to a couple of songs. You have the interlude, then you have the outro. It's like the whole soundtrack. What gave it inspiration? Uh, to build that, say as far as like the Roger Hill music brand.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, man. It was one of them situations was, you know, they always saying, go, you walk by faith and not by sight.
Yeah.
Um, man, I knew about the promotion game. I didn't know anything about the singing and that part, the front end part like that. And everything, man, I had to learn everything from the copyrights. I had to learn about promotions. Of course, don't get me wrong, I got screwed over because the old saying go, you either learn or burn.
Yeah.
So I went through some different, situations, but there's a lot of times I used to be up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, man, like Googling, trying to on Instagram. A lot of people don't understand if you follow certain people or just keep going through, you can learn a lot about
Mhm.
the music game. Looking at different videos, looking at people talk. Just keep strolling through Google it. And that's how I learned a lot, man. It was called on the job training. Because you gotta understand, I reached out to certain people, and not everybody's willing to help you,
Yeah, that's
Not
true.
everybody's willing to help you. But I tell you, man, one dude that's cool, man. There's I got him. It's Steve, man. Steven Russell Hart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's cool in the gang, man. You know what I'm saying? He looks out and nothing but love for him, man. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, big shout out to the brother. I interviewed him 2 years ago and stuff, and
Mhm.
just learning his story from past to present and stuff. They're definitely down to earth. You don't see too many people in the industry that's well known that will actually, it's like that. You got some that put on persona for the camera, but they're not
Mhm.
all what they seem to be. That's why I say, pay attention to these cartoon characters.
And that's like a lot of people. Um, they see me out here grinding and everything, and they was like, "Man, I see you out there." But at the same token, I still like talking junk on social media, like Facebook. Man, I'm always posting something. I talk a lot about relationships and stuff.
Right.
I mean, my page is, I tell people it's for entertainment purposes only. You don't know what I might talk about on my. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm just strictly just doing music because you can understand. You build fans by interacting besides the music. People want to know, is this person a down to earth person? He real? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Once you get to a certain point, that's different. When you get on the Ron Isley and the Charlie Wilsons and Alexander O'Neills and stuff like that, those guys have been in the industry so long, they don't have to do all that.
Yeah.
But when you trying to build a base, you have to be creative on how you're going to gain your fans and how you're going to get people to listen to your music. So I had already built a following of over 5,000 people on my social media just talking about relationship stuff for like the last 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years or so. All of a sudden, I came on there one day, it was like, yo, I'm getting ready to sing. I got, man, everybody laughed, they laughed. This is a true story, man. I mean, they drilled me, they said all kind of stuff on there. Then when they heard the song come back to me, was my first song, people was like, that don't sound too bad. That don't sound too bad. Now they were like, that dude can sing. I just flipped. And people actually have seen my journey from talking mess on social media to actually, doing shows with Grammy Award winning producers and singers and stuff. They actually seen my journey. And then they like just kind of surprised. They love my grind. Um, it's what it is, So I just keep it moving like that. But one thing about it, I try to stay balanced.
Yeah.
I stay balanced. Um, I've always been around entertainers, and even when I used to promote concerts and stuff. So my head is not gonna be big at all. I'm still gonna, have me some fun, talk a little shit as they say or whatever. But I'm very down to earth too. Very down to earth. And I'll tell people no matter how big I may get, I'm gonna still be the same Roger that I've always been. People from back in the days, high school and stuff, they were like, man, Roger, same person, and that's how I am.
Yeah. And that said a lot, because like we have a heart of gold that never leaves, you know what I'm saying, and I don't know how some people do it, man, especially, your upbringing, the way you treat people, and everything that goes on, that never leaves, And you got some people feel like they gotta fake it till they make it, but guess what? That's how you get blacklisted, That's how
Uh,
you get railroad, you got some people that's in the industry, that once did had it going on. They like to get real animated, It's like you can't tell them nothing, what I'm saying, and stuff. And yeah, like appreciate your blessings, what I'm saying, no matter where it's coming from, especially if it's good.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yep. That's how I keep it, man. I keep it like that. And by being one thing for sure, like the music industry is a very small industry. And because of the things that I've done, like promoting the shows and stuff, um, one thing's for sure, like I got a great name out there, I've done shows and some shows I've made money, some shows I haven't. But one thing's for sure, they always got paid. And your name will go a long ways like that. So, that's how I was able to, meet Jane from Loose Ends. I mean, we're real cool and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
All these different people, man, you run into and they be like, yo, he's a good dude. So my transition from promoter to singer was just like, Angela Winbush, they all know me, you know, and these are people that have been in the game a long time, Howard Hewitts and all of these people, you know what I mean? So Chuck
Mhm.
Rock, man, I mean, some of the people I can't even remember. Leela James, like Jenny, all these
Oh
people,
man,
like, whoa, and it's like, it's funny because I forget that I've, done stuff with these people, like Jenny, Leela James, and stuff like Pokey Bear and all these people, It's
yeah.
like, once you get into this and yeah, you just forget, you know. Right now, I'm trying to focus on the music.
Yeah, absolutely and stuff. And man, I tell you, you definitely one of the blessed brothers. I know some people say lucky, but you are blessed because just to be in the same room with Jimmy Jerry Tate Lewis, man, Leela
Yeah,
James, Terrell, Howard Hewitt, was it Karen White, and so many others.
yeah,
Within
that's what I'm
4
saying. I
years.
forgot all about these people. You know what I'm saying? Because these people that be around and like, wow. But yeah, I mean, like I was telling someone the other day, I said, "Do you know how you got a lot of people out here been singing a long time has not even really gotten to the places where I've gotten.
Yeah.
Especially I've been doing it just coming up in 4 years. So yes, I am truly blessed to be able to be put in the rooms with these legends and Grammy Award winning individuals. You know what I mean? But also for these people to hear me, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they heard my music and it was like, yo, his music is good, his writing, has substance, and to me, that was like, whoa.
Absolutely. Um, when it comes to performing, I hear artists say, man, like that brings the beats out of me, man. I'm on stage, I just come alive and stuff. 'Cause it's one thing you put energy to your own music.
Hmm.
When it comes to performing, like what kind of gives you pumped up that drilling rush? You be like, hey, I'm coming, I'm a man, hit a home run.
Well, with me, I'll tell people like this. I'm not one of those persons that gonna be jumping all over the stage and stuff. I'm not about to do all of that, because my
Yeah.
music is real smooth and stuff. Um, I go with the flow, and each time I perform, um, I'm getting better with how my delivery of things. You know, so I pray and I just be like, yo, it is what it is. We're gonna make this happen and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
of course, we always would be nervous and stuff like that, but everything be cool, man. I mean, I did a show last week up in New York, man. It was all good. People were loving it. People were just shocked, like, wow. So my thing is this: once I know that I deliver something where people like and they enjoy, then I've done my job. Off to the next, because I've gained more fans. You know, when I was in Cleveland 2 weeks ago, same thing. You know, people was like, "Wow, you know, this dude can sing." You know, um,
Yeah.
so that's that. You know, but no matter what, man, I tell you, I stay humble. I stay humble. I don't let it go to my head because guess what? I still have a long ways to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a
Yeah,
long
man.
ways to go. You know.
Yeah, because that's one thing, about like when it comes to, a journey, it doesn't have an age limit, some people think that life is over once you get over 40, but really, like you're still growing, you know what I'm saying? And I remember mama used to tell me, like once you turn 60, that's when you start living life, like your kids are older, grandkids out the way and stuff. And she told me that. I'm like, Harry, I'm about to be 45. I'm like, dang, she's right about that, you know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Oh yeah, that's the honest truth, Now, like, is there any show dates coming up for this spring or summertime?
yeah, I got some festivals that I'm going to be on. I'll be in Aruba, blah, 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 May 16th, I believe. May 16th, I'll be in Aruba. And we got some other stuff coming up. I know me and Howard Hewitt, Sherelle, and Stephen Russell. We got some stuff coming up for the fall, and right now everybody's doing different things and stuff. But towards the fall, we're gonna get to doing some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely and stuff. Man, looking forward to man the collaboration, man. You and Steve is cooking, man. Something anything that brother touch, man, is always, man, like hot. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you something. I just sent the email, but I don't know if her. But I'm gonna tell you a collaboration that I would really want. I want to do something with Kim.
Woo! Hey, oh
I
man,
want to
that's
do something with Kim, and he lives in Atlanta too. Sherelle was supposed to been hooking me up, but I ain't heard nothing yet from her. But uh, Kim is listening or whatever. Definitely. I definitely. You know what? This is my honest feeling. I think if Kim listened to my music and heard my vocals, I think he would be willing to do something with me.
Yeah, I could see that, man. Because like the way you approach your music and what he is, yeah, man, like that's a great, oh man, like a great match right there, man.
And on the female side, I wouldn't mind doing something with Faith.
Oh man, like another powerhouse right there, man.
Yeah, so that's another person. Um, I'm just telling the people that I kind of threw out there. I actually tried to reach out to Faith. I hadn't heard nothing back. Um, Tony Braxton was another person,
Well,
that one's a whole different ball game. But hey,
yeah.
shoot for the moon. If you miss, you be among the stars.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Why not, man? Like you only live once, man. I tell you.
Yeah. So yeah, so really like and then another one that I had wanted to at one point was Charlie Wilson. So
Woo.
people that I just named are like my top list of individuals or legends that I would love to do something with.
Yeah.
I think I can hold my own. All they got to do is say yes.
Yeah, get that green light, man. It's game over,
They give
man.
me the
Yeah,
green light.
man.
They give me the green light, because Howard agreed to do something with me. Like I said, once a person hear what you can do, they be like, okay, and then you understand. I mean, up and coming, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I'm definitely interested in doing something with Kim, and so I'm hoping somebody can get that to him or whatever. But
Yeah.
most definitely, I think some kind of way. I think we can kind of come across each other's path. I hear sometimes he be in Home Depot over where it's at. So I'm gonna have to go and stake out Home Depot.
you know, like when you mentioned Kim, the first thing I heard was his signal. He'd be like, "Hey, girl," that's all I hear. That's the first thing that popped in my
Hey,
head. So,
then I hit one of them. Oh, I like the way you receive me. Yeah,
yeah,
we can do something. You sound, yeah.
yeah, man, because that's in the making, man, and stuff, and that's crazy, man. Because I hear your voice, man. I was like, I was trying to think of a female that popped in my head. Because when you said Tony, because before you say Tony, when you say Tony Braxton, that popped up maybe like 10 seconds before you said it and everything. And wow, I could see. Go ahead.
I have a song that I did with this young lady. She used to live in Atlanta. She moved to. Her name is. Um, oh man, I can't think of it off the back. God much. But anyway, um, we did a song called "Hide and Seek,"
Wow.
and that song I'll never forget it. You ever heard? Remember the game Hide and Seek?
Yeah.
And what I actually wanted to do was just write a love song based upon that game Hide and Seek. And I did. It's not about anyone, but I got her singing in there. I'm gonna tell you something. The song is a straight hit. It's fire. It is straight fire. She can blow. I mean, seriously, she can blow. She's right up there with Beyonce and all of them. She can blow. She moved to Houston, and she's doing some singing over that way. But there you have some people out there, man, who are not legends, who can sing. They just haven't been discovered. I mean, like me, I'm independent, and I think that if I was probably, with a label or something like that, there'd be a whole different ball game. But right now I'm just independent, and I'm pushing me, doing me, and keeping it like that, keep it moving. One day maybe somebody might discover me. I don't know, but right now this is what I'm doing, how I'm doing it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm gonna tell you something, bro. You're blessed, and everything, happened the way it's supposed to be. God never revealed it to you. Especially those certain collaborations supposed to happen. Oh yeah, it's nothing gonna be a monster, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's honest God truth. So got another music in the works, got some upcoming shows and stuff. And man, looking forward to it, man. When you break the project, when it's out, so you can break down each song on the R&B talk show, man. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I may I'm trying to decide though, but I may release something. I'm trying to decide which I want to do, just to release something. Well, I haven't released anything in 3 years. But if I do and when I do, I will definitely let you know. I mean, all I got to do is just pull the trigger. It ain't like I got to go in the studio and doing it. A lot of stuff I'm done, man. I've done it like really 2-3 years ago. I got songs that I actually finished 2-3 years ago. I got something. Actually, I'll be going back into the studio Wednesday to finish up something. Once I finish that up, and then I'll be going out to Dallas to get with Steve. We got some hot stuff that we getting ready to work on also. And I'm thinking about, most artists need a cover song because I have not, all my music is original, but I'm thinking about doing a cover. I don't know what yet, but I know Sherelle had told me there was one song she told me she wanted me to do. I can't remember. It was an old thing, but it was a good one though. But I do plan on doing a cover song so I can have that in my portfolio.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Oh man. Man, that's what's up though, man. Shoot. Man, but with that being said, thank you for taking the time coming on the R&B Talk Show. Man, big shout out to V's Vintage for negotiating this interview and stuff. And man, like I said, bro, you always welcome to come back on here, man, and looking forward, man. The projects that you bringing on the upcoming show, man, and we could definitely play it here. You know what I'm saying? Live on his YouTube page, man, because it's crazy, man. As we talking, man, I had certain females I had in mind, man. And I was like, as far as like back in the day, I was like, yeah, man, that been a great, collaboration. Man. I was thinking about Stephanie Mills. It just popped in my head, man, for some reason. And I was like, yeah.
So I look at it like this, yeah, Stephanie. Um, all it takes, man, is just the right person to hear me.
Yeah,
Of course, yes, I'm hungry because I got something good and I got something that people would like to hear.
yeah.
Um, but it just,
It's
I'm
all about
gonna
time,
just
man. Yeah.
let it fall into place. Wherever the chips fall, I'm just gonna let it fall. But I'm gonna keep doing what I gotta do. So as long as everybody, and I just want to mention to everybody, that they can all follow me on all social medias under Roger Hill Music. You know, all music is out there under Roger Hill Music. You can go to my website, look at RogerHillMusic.com. Um, Roger Hill, I'm out there. So just check the music out. You know, I know people will really love it. There's a message in all my music.
Yeah,
Tell the
absolutely.
story.
Man, that's what's man. Yeah, man. That's what's up, man. So with that being said, my brother, you have a blessed night, man. And like I said, man, you're more welcome to come back on here, man, anytime, brother. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, Roger Hill Music, you know what I'm saying? Right here on the R&B Talk Show. And with that being said, thank you all. Thank you. Was a big shout out to Colin Jones. And man, other people that'll leave comments on here and stuff. And with that being said, we out of here.
All right. Peace.
All right, peace.